Hello everybody. Today we are going to talk about the things that I think are strange about Korea. So, first one, getting right into it, is conformity. Everybody in Korea seems to have this need to be the same. Lots of guys will have the same haircut at one time, and then as I've been here for longer, I've seen the trend change. So guys have the same haircut but a different haircut. Or in the winter, you'll see everyone wears the same jackets, same types of shoes. It's just, everyone is the same. It's not bad because the beauty standards here are really good. Everybody here seems to dress really well all the time and make sure that they are looking their best. You very rarely see any woman outside without full makeup. Guys always have their hair parted and gelled and everything. So people here want to look good, but I think for the most part, anybody, especially if areas in Seoul, like Hongdae or something, very similar to vibes. Kind of weird. Back home, everyone looks very different usually. Yes, people have similar styles and stuff, or business people wear the same type of shirts, but that's business standard. Casual wear, most people change it up, but here not so much. The next thing I think is strange is that in Korea, if you walk around in any city, there are so many shops, the same variety, within spitting distance of each other. That I mean, there will be 10 convenience stores down this street within a 1-minute walk. The same brand of convenience store. So a GS25. I'll be here on the one end of the street and I walk towards the other and there's another GS25. It's really bizarre because back home, I didn't live in a big city or anything. So I was always drive somewhere. You could go from one convenience store to the next, or might be 5-10 minutes away, driving. It's very strange to see one minute away walking. That's the same store. The next one is that, kind of in the same vein, there are so many coffee shops and so many restaurants here. Yeah, it's a city, so I expect there to be more than in the suburbs and stuff, but there are so many cafes. It's unbelievable. I have no idea how they all stay in business. I walk down the street and I'll see cafes on the second, third floor and restaurants on the second, third floor, and I just go, I couldn't be bothered to even go in these. So I just have no idea how anybody stays in business here, because there's so many cafes. And that's not just the name brand ones like Starbucks or Haskuchi or whatever. It's one guy owns this cafe and there's so many of them. It's just unbelievable to me. And then for restaurants, you have every night and you'll walk past and they're all full. It's just amazing. Right now because of COVID, less so, but before COVID, I'd walk down the street and you'd see 10 ajishis or whatever in one place, all in this big table, all of them so many bottles of soju and beer and stuff. The whole table's full, and then that's not the only table. There's 4 other tables with the same amount of people, and then you keep walking and you see all this constantly. I don't know if Korean people just eat out a lot more in general than people back home, or because you don't see it, because you have to drive by, so you don't really see it back home. But here, just constantly. And since a lot of places are open air, or the windows are quite big and you can see in, you could just see all these people just eating and drinking every single night. If I did it, I just feel like I would explode. Another weird thing, and I'm kind of thankful for it because it got me a job here as an English teacher at an academy, but the focus on education here is just so extreme. I'll have students who tell me they go to 6 academies in 1 week, and they'll go for 2-3 hours at a time to each of these academies. So besides school, they're in 20 plus hours of academy, just learning at school or academy. But everyone's so driven here, and then because of that, there's this huge focus on education and competition in education. So I have academy students who tell me oh, my mom's gonna be so mad, and I look at it and I'm you got a 90%. Huh? If I got a 90% on every quiz I ever got, my parents would have been thrilled. See this kid, he got a 97 and he's on the verge of tears. And I go, okay, it's a half a point that you messed up. And it's unbelievable how forced into competition kids are here. And not even because they want this amazing job. This girl wants to be an idol, which doesn't really require that much school. She's 9 years old, she wants to be a singer, and she's crying over a 97. So I think, while it's good that everyone here is focused on education, that's a great thing. It's so unbelievable how focused it is. Another weird thing here, and this is kind of a work culture and society in general thing, is hierarchy. In Korea, there's 2 different forms of speech. There's polite speech and informal. And with every single person, you have to know who the other person is and how they relate to you to know what kind of speech you need. Generally, the rule is if they're older or more experienced than you, you speak with polite speech. If they're younger or less experienced, impolite, informal rather. But it's so weird that the whole society is kind of like stratified just by language. And then if like your superior at work tells you to do something, you should do it. But not superior like they're your boss, superior like they've been there longer. That's just this weird hierarchy that exists. Never existed for me back home. I could see it with my Korean coworkers, not for me personally, but you can still see it. Or even just if you're out with somebody and you are at a restaurant, you pour drinks for people in a certain order, right? And you have to hold the bottle in a certain way. And if you don't do it, it becomes impolite. When you take a drink, you have to turn your head to the side, hold it, and take a shot, right? Who cares? Nope. I don't think anyone does. But it's this old Korean thing. Yes, it's a culture thing and it's fine, but it's just there's so much of it in just little ways that you don't really think about that becomes a big deal. The last thing is, I talked about the drinking earlier, but drinking in Korea is so extreme. Back home, if you go to a restaurant, you know, people would drink and stuff. But most people, if you got drunk outside, it's at a bar. Yeah, people got drunk and whatever. But here, especially because it's in a bigger city, I'm in bigger cities, you just see like, when I talked earlier about these tables full of alcohol, and you'll see like, 10 guys going home just completely plastered. And that's on a Tuesday. That's not Friday, Saturday only thing. It's every day. Less bad, of course, with Corona, but still, it's just unbelievable how heavy drinker Koreans are. It's everybody. It's younger people, it's older people. It just happens with everyone. I can't handle Korean drinkers. Alright guys, thank you for watching our video about what I think is strange in Korea. There's lots of things. I just kind of tried to shorten it for time-wise. But yeah, Korea is very different. It's a very fun country to be in, but it's just very different. You get used to it. It catches up to you every once in a while. It surprises you. But I appreciate you watching. Next week, we will be back to snacks. I promise, I've said it 3 weeks in a row. We will be back to snacks. And yeah, that's all. Please like, subscribe, and we will see you in the next video. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.